Mekatilili wa Menza, a towering figure in Kenyan history, was a Giriama woman who lived in the early 20th century. She is remembered as one of the most remarkable leaders of the Giriama people and a symbol of resistance against colonial oppression. Born in the 1860s in Matsara Watsatsu, a small village in present-day Kilifi County, Mekatilili's life story intertwines with the broader narrative of African resistance to colonialism. Her name, which translates to "one with 5 fingers," was a tribute to her unique and formidable leadership qualities. Early life and background: Mekatilili was born into the Mijikenda community, specifically the Giriama subgroup. Her early life was marked by the traditional practices and cultural richness of the Giriama people. As a young girl, she grew up in a communal environment that emphasized oral traditions, spirituality, and the preservation of heritage. Her family was relatively modest, and she was particularly close to her brother, Mwarandu, who played a significant role in shaping her worldview. Tragedy struck early in her life when her brother was captured by Arab slave traders. This devastating loss left a profound impact on Mekatilili, instilling in her a fierce determination to protect her people from external threats. Her experiences during this time contributed to her deep sense of justice and resistance against exploitation. The colonial context. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the Giriama people, like many other African communities, faced increasing encroachment from European colonial powers. The British, who had established control over Kenya, imposed oppressive policies, including forced labor, taxation, and land alienation. These policies disrupted traditional Giriama life and undermined their autonomy. Additionally, British administrators sought to impose cultural and economic changes that eroded indigenous practices. The Giriama, known for their resilience, resisted these incursions. Mekatilili emerged as a central figure in this resistance, galvanizing her people against colonial domination. Leadership and resistance. Mekatilili's leadership was characterized by her ability to unite and inspire her people. She was not a formal leader in the traditional sense, but wielded influence through her charisma, oratory skills, and spiritual authority. Mekatilili was deeply rooted in the Giriama culture and used its symbols and practices to rally her people. One of the critical moments in her leadership was her invocation of the Kaya system, sacred forests that served as cultural and spiritual centers for the Mijikenda people. The Kaya elders, who were custodians of traditional knowledge, were central to Giriama society. Mekatilili collaborated with these elders to resist colonial policies, emphasizing the importance of unity and cultural preservation. In 1913, she famously led the Giriama in a rebellion against British colonial authorities. The Giriama uprising, also known as the Giriama resistance, was sparked by several grievances, including forced labor, high taxes, and the disruption of traditional practices. Mekatilili's leadership was pivotal in organizing protests and mobilizing her people to defy colonial edicts. The oath-taking ceremony. One of Mekatilili's most notable strategies was the use of traditional oaths, known as fisi, or kifudu. These oaths were sacred rituals that bound participants to resist colonial interference. Mekatilili traveled extensively across Giriama territory, performing these rituals and urging her people to reject colonial rule. Her efforts led to widespread resistance, with many Giriama refusing to work on British plantations or pay taxes. Arrest and exile. Mekatilili's defiance did not go unnoticed by the colonial authorities. In October 1913, she was arrested by British officials and exiled to Kisii, a region far from her homeland. However, her spirit remained unbroken. Remarkably, she escaped from captivity and made the arduous journey back to her people, continuing her resistance upon her return. She was rearrested in 1914 and sent to Kismayu in Somalia. Yet again, she managed to escape and return to Giriama territory. Her resilience became legendary, further solidifying her status as a symbol of resistance.